All right, it's Sunday, November 5th. I talked to Blaze a little while ago. He's getting ready to catch an Uber to John Wayne Airport. And so this morning, I looked at my video to see where the axle ratio and this other tab go. I'm guessing that the L means locking because, again, they are locked together, so must be posi traction. Went ahead and tightened all the bolts on the back tip cover. Now I'm gonna do these. Jaguar didn't believe in torque settings, and so for the entire differential unit, there are a total of 3 torques specified. Like these don't have a torque value given, so I'm just gonna pop them up to 60 and that should be good. I mean, it's cast iron and steel, so not like we're gonna strip out aluminum. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to fit the bars that go here with the tube in between. I suspect I'm gonna have to do some paint stripping in order to get those tubes to fit back in there, since they were kind of a almost press fit. Might throw them in the freezer, get them to shrink down a little bit. That might give me a little more room. So we'll get those put together, and that'll allow me to put the plate that sits under there, and then I will put begin putting the radius arms together. And that'll probably be enough to keep me out of trouble for most of the day. Let's see. Lined out all the hardware for the inner wishbones. I'm gonna have to go to Home Depot and get a dowel, because apparently you set all this stuff up with a dowel and then drive through the you set up all the stuff on a dowel, which they call a dummy shaft, in the wishbone, and then you put the wishbone up there, and then you use the reel shaft to drive out the dummy shaft without all these pieces falling off. These are they go like this. There's an outer washer and an inner washer, and then the rubber seal goes between those and then gets sandwiched in here, and that's how they seal the grease inside for the bearings, the roller bearings. And I got new roller bearings and new inner races, and so I'm going to go ahead and set those up next. And then these are set up so that you can see that maybe you can't, hold on, let me turn the light on. So these are set up so that that hole and that hole, which are offset, match the offset on the diff. Yep, the diff. And then I've got the little spacers, and they go behind here. I read that those aren't meant for alignment. It's just because the machining wasn't precise enough. Who knows? But that's what I read on the internet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the A-arms and press out the old bearings. All right, since I had made the modifications to my press, I was able to use it to push out the needle bearings on the inside of the A-arm. I tried using a C-clamp, but that wasn't going to work. But it wasn't any big deal with the press. So I am going to get my new needle bearings and put them in the freezer. That way they'll go in easier with less chance of going cattywampus on me. Cattywampus is never a good thing. All right, so I put synthetic grease in the roller bearings for the A-arms, and I took one of the tubes that goes here that was in the freezer and was able to push it in by hand. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt up those lower things to the diff, but they require safety wire, which I do not have. So, oh, I don't have the rod either, the dummy rod. So, looks like I'll have to go to Home Depot. What I will probably do is go ahead and bolt these up, and then I'll go to Home Depot when I go get Blaze at the airport this afternoon. Well, it turns out I put these on the wrong side. There's what I thought was a vent. Turns out, I guess it's a drain. And that should be on the bottom. The top of the flange here should match the profile of this. So I put them on the wrong side. So I'm going to pop those off and switch them. Blaze's plane to Dallas is in the air. And so I will probably do that and then just wrap it up for the day. I got the bearings pressed out of that and that one, and the bearings are in the freezer. I'll probably just leave them until I come back out again. Press them back in. The thing that you have to be really careful about when doing that is that they have to not meet in the middle, because the Zerk fitting feeds the grease in between the two. So I got to make sure that I do that. All right, so finished up for the day. Flip these guys around. They match. I thought that the hole that was up here in the flange that came up was an air vent like this, but it turns out that it is a drain. Let's see. Hold on. It's a drain right there, and it drains back into the diff case there. So kind of flipped around, everything's torqued to 60 foot-pounds, and I think we're in good shape there. Still not sure about these things being set up. It's diff's got a bit of tilt up, but that's probably expected because I think 3 or 4 degrees down on an American car is normal, so maybe that's how it's supposed to go. And other than that, I am done for the day. Got to get the locking wire and new Zerks. There's Zerks in the bottom of these. And I'm also going to have to sand these faces to get them cleaned back up because I painted them. But since there's going to be rubber gaskets rotating on them, it probably needs to be bare metal. But that'll be another day.